you get dinosaur fossils when
Hey,
you
Vio.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hey,
that's
there,
cool.
Vio.
What about you, Raymond?
Oh, I get $20.
$20. So you get 400 times more than I used to get, Raymond. Oh my God, look at that dinosaur fossil, guys. That Antares.
It's a
Okay.
trilobite. It's actually before the dinosaurs.
Wait,
Oh yeah,
there was
trilobite.
something before the dinosaurs?
Yep, trilobite.
Well, actually, these weren't huge things.
So you
They
know
were
how
just little critters.
so guys, do you know how the wife of the president of the United States is called the First Lady?
Yeah.
I always
Yep.
wonder if she knew any dinosaurs. Well, because she's the first lady. Okay, anyway, bad joke, bad joke. Would you guys like to meet some of my favorite spheres? And when I say my favorite spheres, this is what I mean. Are you ready?
I watched this right before class.
Now, guys, marbles have a diameter of exactly 2 centimeters. Very, very cool. Oh, wait a minute. A human eyeball? Everybody go like this with their knuckle. Now, this knuckle right here, this distance is approximately 2.5 centimeters, which is about 1 inch. And that is the diameter of the actual eyeball in your eye. Now, you can't actually measure it because you only see the surface. You don't see where the sphere is all the way inside. So really kind of cool. Oh, that's my favorite, golf balls. I love them. I'm not much of a juggler. Love racquetball, 5.7 centimeters. Ooh, lacrosse ball. Anybody play lacrosse at 6.35 centimeters? Tennis ball, 6.7.
I play tennis.
Cricket.
I
Look
love
at his
cricket. I
ball.
watched the Cricket World
Oh,
Cup.
field hockey is so cool. Baseball, we love it.
Oh, I participated in baseball camp at Babson.
Cool. And croquet is 9.2 centimeters. A softball is pretty large. Oh, by the way, guys, a shot put is actually not called a ball. It's literally called a sphere. All balls are spherical, but a shot put, you put it on your shoulder like this, and you spin around and you throw that spherical, it's like made out of steel. It must weigh about 10 pounds. And you see how far you can throw it. And it's an Olympic sport. That's called a shot put sphere.
My dad used to do shop.
Cool.
Can you put down my virtual
Well, he must be very strong. I could not
And
do
he
shot
used
put.
to do.
Ooh, there's a volleyball.
So he used to do rugby.
Soccer balls. Dodgeball, very cool.
I love playing dodgeball.
Love that basketball. Now, guys, a rugby ball or an American football, how many different diameters do they have, guys? How many different diameters do rugby balls and American footballs have? Brennan?
2.
That's right. They have a long diameter and then they have a short diameter. So it's the long diameter that they're talking about at the 27 centimeters. I don't know what a rugby ball short diameter is, but I'm guessing it might be around 12 to 15 centimeters. I can't really say for sure, but I find that very interesting.
15 centimeters is the length of my ruler.
Oh, love those beach balls. Wait a minute. What is this?
Rubber band
Yeah,
ball.
on what do you call it?
Now,
It's the world record.
I do want to tell you something about this.
Guinness World.
And usually when I show you a website, it's because I think that it's got really good information, but they made a mistake in that website. Would you like to see the mistake?
Yes.
What is it?
Okay,
Yeah.
here we go. Here we go. This says that the diameter of the biggest rubber band ball in the world is 100 centimeters, or approximately 6 feet 7 inches.
And they got something wrong there.
Can anybody tell me what is inaccurate about that? Why is that impossible? And I'm really looking for anyone who knows what 100 centimeters is. And Gabby, what do you think?
1 foot or like 1 inch?
No, 100 centimeters. Think about it, Antarisk.
2 meters?
Well, 100 centimeter is exactly, everybody?
1
1
meter.
meter.
1 meter.
1 meter.
1 meter. And guys, 1 meter is approximately what?
3 feet.
How many feet? So,
3 feet.
so if 1 meter is approximately 3 feet, how can it also be 6 feet 7 inches?
No.
I think 6 feet 7 is correct, and 100.108.102 centimeters wrong.
You know what?
Didn't mean
I actually don't know which one is correct, because the 6 foot one is going to be about 2 meters. So I'm not really sure. But what I do know is that if I take the diameter of any one of these circles or spheres, I can multiply the diameter by what special number?
Pi.
Which is
Pi.
approximately
3.14.
3.4159.
or 3 1/7. Who would like to choose a circle from this grouping? Who would like to choose a circle? Raymond?
I would like to choose an egg.
A penny?
I said a pea.
Oh, a pea. Okay, everybody look at the pea. Now the pea is 0.25 inches. Who can tell me what that is as a fraction?
Me.
Go ahead, Kelsey.
Is it 1/4?
It is. It is 1/4 inch. Now, I want everybody to go to page 9 in their packet, and I want you to write down PEA, and then we're going to write down the diameter, which is 0.25 inches, which equals 1/4 inch. Now, before we move ahead, there is something really important that I have to share with you. And that is that we have to convert, that means to transform, a mixed number into a fraction. Now, the mixed number we're talking about here is 3 1/7. Who can tell me how many sevenths is in 3 wholes? So don't say it out loud. Think about 3 wholes. How many sevenths would be 3 wholes? And I'm going to give you a little hint. 1 whole is 7 sevenths. If 1 whole is 7 sevenths, then 3 wholes is go.
21.
21.
21.
And therefore, 21 sevenths plus 1 seventh. How many sevenths?
22 7.
22 7.
And isn't it really cool that the next time somebody says to you, hey, what is pi?
Okay, here, buddy. Can you
Most
hear it?
people are going to say, oh, pi is about 3
Put that away, please.
1/7.
Put it away,
But not you. You guys are going to say 22 sevenths. It's way cooler to tell somebody that you know that pi is 22 sevenths. Now, guess what we can do? Go back to page 9, and all we have to do now is multiply 1/4 times 22 sevenths. Now, there's something that's a little challenging there. Oh, Kelsey, do you have your hand up, honey? You have a question?
No, that was from before. Sorry.
Oh, okay, no worries. Now, guys, can anybody tell me how we multiply the fraction 1/4 times 22 sevenths? Who knows how to do that? And I have one hand up already. Anybody else? Brennan?
Well, since I know four quarters are in a whole, we can do 4 times 22 or 22 times 4.
You know what? That was a really interesting thought process. And Brennan, that's the kind of stuff that I used to do when I was your age. I used to try to figure it out. And it was really, really fun. It's a little bit different than that. Gabby, do you, oh, Sunyi. Hello, Sunyi. I didn't see you arrive. So Gabby, would you like to tell us how to multiply 1/4 by pi, which is 22 sevenths?
Well, the first thing you need to do is you have to multiply 1 by 22. And that gives you 22.
Wait,
Second-
wait, hold on a second. Does everybody agree that the numerator of 1/4 is 1 and the numerator of 22 sevenths is 22? So Gabby just said multiply numerator by numerator. Go, Gabby.
And that equals 22. So that's the numerator you put on the top of your answer. Then you multiply the denominator by the denominator, 4 times 7, which is 28. And then you write 28 as the denominator for the answer.
Well, if anyone is interested in the circumference of a P, and Raymond, that was yours, right? The circumference of a P is 22/28, but we can simplify that fraction. Does anybody see that 22 and 28 are both even numbers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, what do we do with even numbers? Come on.
Split them in
Cut
half.
them in half.
We
in
cut
half.
them in half. So go ahead, cut 22 in half.
11.
11.
Cut 28 in half.
14.
14.
14.
What's that spell?
11, 14.
And so the answer to this question is 11/14 inches, which is around 3/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit more. Now, guys, there is actually an easier way to multiply fractions. Would you guys like to see an easier way?
Yes.
Yeah.
So everybody again, write down 1/4 times, and I use a dot for times mostly, 22/7. Now, can anybody see that both 22 and 4 can be cut in half?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then everybody can tell me that 22/4 is the same as what? You can say it out loud. if you
11.
see it.
11 seconds.
11, we say 11 halves. And if you want to try to be funny, you can say 11 tooths. Okay? But it is 11 halves. Now, everybody, watch what Mr. Kramer is going to do. I'm going to write 11 above the 22, and I'm going to write a little 2 below the 4.
That stands for tooths.
Yep. Now, everybody, help me out here. What is 1 times 11?
11.
It's 11.
11.
And what is 2 times 7?
14.
Now, guys, wasn't it easier to simplify before we multiplied across?
Very.
It is so much fun. Now, I want to point something out to you. Let's go back to page 9. And I used an example, and I'm going to make this even bigger so you can see it. I used an example of a ball that's used in a sport called rhythmic gymnastics. Does anybody know anything about rhythmic gymnastics?
I'm pretty sure it's something that has to do with math and gymnastics.
Well, that's a great comment, Alexander. Penny,
Maybe
can you tell us anything about it?
something with rhythm and gymnastics.
Not really.
Penny, what do you think? Did you have your hand up, honey?
No.
Okay, so I have to admit, I don't know much about rhythmic gymnastics, but what I do know, Penny?
I don't really know much about it, but I kind of know about it, sort
I
of.
mean, it seems to me that there must be some kind of almost like a dance or some kind of special acrobatics that you do with a ball. I don't really know, but rhythmic gymnastic balls are 7 inches in diameter. Now, why is that cool? Because when we multiply 7 times 3 and 1/7, we can use distributive property. Everybody help me out here. 7 times 3 is?
7 times 3, 21.
21.
And that
21.
is 21. And then what about 7 times a 7th? If I have 1/7, 7 times, I have 7/7, which is what?
1.
22.
And therefore, we can say that 3 times 3 and a 7th is 22. But
Two.
isn't multiplying fractions even cooler?
Yeah.
So 7/1, which is 7, times 22/7. Who can tell me why I crossed out the 7s? Why was I able to cross out the 7s? What is 7/7, everybody?
1 whole.
Isn't that 1 whole?
1
So
whole.
therefore, it's 1/1. And what is 1 times 22?
22.
22.
And what is 1 times 1?
1.
Therefore, 22/1 is equal to 22.
22.
Now, I want everybody to look at page 4. And I want you to choose one of your favorite types of balls. Okay? And it doesn't have to be a sport that you play, but it's something that maybe you would like to play, or that you really like the shape or the color or the size of that ball. Who's going to choose the ball that we're going to use right now? Oh, wow. I have 2 Raymonds there. What about you, William? William, you're muted. So I'm going to ask you to unmute.
Basketball.
Oh, William, you have chosen one of my favorites. Now, I'm not saying that I'm a good basketball player, but I definitely enjoy it very much. Now, looking on page 6, everybody, we find that a basketball has a diameter of 9.4 inches. So everybody go now to page 9 and write down 9.4 inches. And this is a basketball. Now, Gabby, you had your hand up, honey.
Are we supposed to be doing the basketball with you, or should we choose one of the balls we want to do and start doing that?
You know what? You can choose your own after class, but right now, let's work on the basketball together. That was a great question. Who can tell me what mixed number is 9.4 inches? So remember, a mixed number has a whole number 9, and then it has a fraction, which is the 0.4. Now, you might not know what
9
the
and
point...
1/4.
Say it again, Brennan.
9 and 4/4
Well, 9 4/4 would be
would be
10,
10.
because 4/4 is 1, but that was a great guess. Does anybody else have something they want to share? Raise your hand, please. Go ahead, Gabby.
4/25.
Ooh.
No, that would equal a whole.
Now, guys, do you know that 4/25 is the same as 16/100, which is the same as 0.16? But 0.4 is the same as 4/10, which is the same as, don't say it out loud, but cut them both in half. Come on 3. 1, 2, 3.
2/5. 2/5.
You guys did it. You guys did it. 9 2/5. Now, the same way we converted 3 1/7 into an improper fraction. Remember what we did? We did 3 times 7, and then we added the 1.
Yep.
Here, we have to do 9 2/5, and you have to tell me how many fifths that is. Don't say it out loud, please. I want you to all write it down. The best mathematicians in the world write everything down. And remember, you're going to multiply 9 times 5, and then you're going to add 2. On 3, 1, 2, 3, go.
47.
47.
Guess what? You're right. 47 fifths is equivalent to 9.4 inches. So let's write that down as 47 fifths. And now we get to have fun. 47 fifths times 22 sevenths. Uh-oh. That's going to be difficult. So guess what Mr. Kramer's going to do? I'm going to make it a little bit easier. Instead of 47 fifths, I'm going to make it 49 fifths. Now, why do you think I might have done that? Why does that make this easier? Mark, why do you think? Focus on the 49 and the 7. What could be done with the 49 and the 7? Who knows what is 49 divided by 7? It's a very special square.
7.
7.
It's 7. It's 7.
7.
So guys, if we simplify 49 sevenths to be 7 wholes, all we have to do is multiply 5 times 1 on the bottom. What do we get?
5.
5.
And now all you have to do is multiply 22 times 5. And don't say it out loud. There's many ways to do it. Distributive property is one of my favorites. I also like the standard algorithm for multiplication. Why don't you do whatever you feel comfortable doing? Because math is about finding your best methods. And I have Raymond's got his hand up, but let's let people think about it. Gabby's got it up. Remember, guys, 5 times 20 plus 5 times 2. On 3, 1, 2, 3.
10. 110.
100.
Yes, it's 100 plus 10. It's 110. Now look at this, guys. Everybody watch the standard algorithm. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 1. Nice and easy. And everybody now gets to do one of my favorite activities, which is to divide. Do you guys know that 110 over 5 is the same thing as 110 divided by 5? Who knew that? Wow, not a lot of you. Jesse knew it. Guys, fraction means division. They don't tell us enough about that in school. All it is division, guys. So everybody watch this. 110 divided by 5. We're going to do short division now, everybody. Let's do it. 5 goes into 11 how many times? Say it.
Times 2.
With what left over?
1. 1.
5 goes into 10 how many times?
2. Exactly.
What's that spell?
22.
2.
And guess what, guys?
2.
22 inches is the approximate circumference. The approximate, oh, wait a minute. Guess what, guys? I just found a mistake we made. Who sees the mistake?
Gabby.
Were we supposed to multiply 22 times 5? Or were we supposed to multiply 7 by 22?
7 by 22.
Aha. So Mr. Kramer and everybody made a mistake, and that 7 times 22 is really important. So I want to fix my mistake. I love making mistakes for that reason. Now, help me out here, guys. 7 times 20 plus 7 times 2. Go. Seven times 20 is what, guys?
140.
140.
And 7
40.
times 2.
14.
14.
What's that spell?
154.
154.
And now
154.
I'm going to write down 155 instead. And the reason is because it'll be easier to divide 155 by 5. Let's do it, everybody. Come on. 5 goes into 15. How many times?
3.
And 5 goes into 5. How many times?
1.
And therefore, the circumference of a basketball is approximately what?
31.
31
Inches. Now, who is ready to do Mr. Kramer's favorite sphere? Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. My favorite sphere is the one I'm standing on right now.
You mean Earth?
I mean the planet Earth. It is.
I thought you were going to say Jupiter.
Well, my favorite sphere is Earth because it's here. You might like Jupiter, but it's really hard to travel there because Jupiter is kind of like a small sun. It's got all these gases. It's very difficult to get to.
Not like gas, like stinks a lot. Like gas, like gases, like the element of gas.
Well,
Six.
gases is actually not an element. There are many different elements that are in form of gas. You can be in the form of an element, can be in the form of a liquid, a solid, or a gas. And so I actually don't know if all gases have smells, but even some solids have smells and some liquids have smells. It's just
I
that
don't think all gases have smells.
well, I know that there's some that don't. I think that there's something called carbon monoxide,
Carbon monoxide you can't smell.
which is why in our homes we have carbon monoxide detectors, because since we can't smell it and it's not healthy, that we want to know if it's there.
I have
Now,
one in
guys,
my room right there.
good, Antarish. That's very good. Now, can anybody tell me what number we should use for the diameter of planet Earth? Who thinks they have a good idea? You want to raise your hand, and I've got Gabby again, and Gabby's done a lot of great shares today. So is Kelsey and Raymond, Antarish, Penny. I'd really like to hear from everybody. So who thinks they can share what might be a really good diameter. How about you, Alexander?
Okay.
You got 7,938 miles or 12,760 kilometers. What do you think would be a really good estimate for us to use for the diameter of Earth?
8,000.
8,000
8,000
what?
miles.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
on
Did
miles.
anybody else get that?
Yeah.
Or
If
like,
anybody else got that, go like this, guys.
Yeah.
8,000. So go to page 9, write down Earth, and then write the diameter of 8,000 miles. Now,
Didn't we say 9,000 though?
well, you just told me that a
Yeah.
really good estimate for
sorry.
7,938 is 8,000, and you're only 62 miles away from 8,000. So I think that's a really good estimate. Now, everybody, let us multiply 8,000 miles by pi. Now, one of the things that we might want to do here, by the way, who can tell me what the denominator is? Sarah? What's the denominator in our answer?
7.
Excellent. Now, who has a strategy for multiplying 8,000 by 22? And when you think of that strategy, think of how simple could you possibly make
wait,
that strategy. Jesse?
8 times 22.
And after you did 8 times 22, Jesse, what would you have to do?
Let's see.
Remember, you're doing 8,000 times 22.
Oh, then so then just add back the 3 zeros. Not really like adding, but yeah.
Yeah, you tack on the 3 zeros. Who can tell me 8 times 20? Go.
160.
Yes.
Uh,
And who can tell me 8
16.
times 2e?
16.
And who can tell me 160 plus 16? Go.
176. 176.
And now, guys, tack on those zeros.
176,000.
That's right. So it's a 176,000, which we now have to divide by 7. Now, dividing by 7 is not very easy. What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to change the number slightly. Are you ready? And let's see what I'm going to do here. 2, 4. Yeah. So I'm going to change the number slightly. And I'm going to make it 176,200. And I want everybody to write that out. And then we're going to divide it by 7. Now, who can tell me what is 17 divided by 7? How many times does 7 go into 17? And then you also have to tell me what's left over. It's called the remainder.
2 times and then
2.
3 left over.
Nice. 7 into 36.
6.
Come on, guys. 7, 14,
5 and 2 left
21,
over.
28, 35. What do you
5
get?
and 1 left.
5.
5 and 1 left over. Oh, you know what? I meant to make that 2. If you guys have a pencil, change it to a 4. And how many times does 7 go into 14?
2.
2.
2.
How many times does 7 go into 0?
0.
0.
Who can tell me the approximate circumference of the planet Earth? Go. Who can say it?
25,200.
5,200.
Yep. And guys, has anybody ever flown on an airplane halfway around the planet Earth?
Me.
Me.
Who's the me?
Jesse. I
Jesse.
think about China.
And Raymond? Raymond, where have you flown?
I have flown for the whole Earth once, and once the quarter and once the half.
Pretty cool. And Antarisk, where have you flown?
Actually flown to Malaysia.
Oh,
First-
and if you fly to Malaysia, is that approximately halfway around the planet? Yes?
I have flown
Yeah.
to China before a bunch
And
of
what
times.
about you,
not
Jesse? Jesse, what
I've
about
flown
you?
to China. It's a little over, or a little short, or a little over.
So Malaysia, China, Japan,
Yeah, I went to Japan too.
India.
Actually,
From Boston, it's about 1/2 of the circumference of planet Earth. Now, how far would I travel if I went from Boston to China and then back to Boston?
25.
Mark,
You would travel like the whole Earth. Like
which is how many miles?
25,200 miles.
That's right. That's right. And so the next time you are lucky enough to travel to Asia, you will know that you are traveling, or maybe even Australia, that you are traveling around halfway across the planet. Now, I have tried to do that around the sun, and I only succeed once per year.
Because you're going around the sun on Earth.
Brennan, explain.
Because 1 year is 1 orbit around the sun.
That's right. So
Plus
some
6
people
hours.
some people say you can't go around the circumference of the sun. And I say we do it every year. So every year, as Brennan says, we actually travel on planet Earth. It's almost like we're in a beautiful spaceship. Penny, what can you add to that?
Well, I can't remember what I was going to say. It was something about how long it takes to get around the sun, I'm pretty sure.
Well, you tell me. How many
It takes
months?
well, I was going to say that I think that it takes a year plus 6 hours.
Wow.
oh yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's why they add an extra day in February.
Wow. Penny, that was a really awesome thing to add, because yes, a year is actually 365 days and about a quarter of a
Isn't
day.
that why they added another day in February every 4 years?
Yes, that's
Because 6
exactly
times
why.
4.
That's
6
exactly
times
why.
4.
Now, guys, I have
Just
something
like
even
that.
more fun to tell you historically. Do you know how the degrees of a circle is 360 degrees?
Yes.
Do you guys know that? That if you go around a circle, well, the Babylonians are ancient people who were very, very smart, and they were also mathematicians. And they estimated that 1 year was 360 days. And that is why they used 360 degrees to go around a circle. So really interesting. Now, everybody go to page 7 again, please. And I want you to look at the sun. I want you to look at the diameter of the sun. Now, what we're going to do is I want somebody to give me a very good estimate of the diameter of the sun. Who thinks they could come up with a really good estimate for the diameter of the sun? Gabby?
Maybe something like 4,030 miles.
Well, that's interesting you said that. I want you to rethink that. William, what were you thinking about? William, unmute yourself so you can share.
800,000.
Yeah. So, Gabby, do you see how the number is 865,000 miles? So 800,000 is a pretty good one, but it might be too small. Is there something that we might like? Brennan, what do you think?
And if you round it to the nearest 100,000, it's 900,000.
Ooh. So I'm hearing 900,000. I heard 800,000. What's another good one, Mark?
I'm thinking 870,000.
I like 870,000. What about you, Antarisk?
That Jupiter is in a circle because it's spinning so fast.
Right. Jupiter, yes. And we can talk about Jupiter next. But what we're talking about right now is coming up with a really good estimate
There's the
for the
red.
diameter of the sun. Brendan, what do you think?
Jupiter, funniest one.
850,000.
Ooh. Now, guys, you're getting closer to a number that Mr. Kramer is thinking of. And
800.
And our Antarisk?
860.
860,000.
That's a good one. What about you, Raymond?
1 million.
Well, a million's a little bit too far away. Now, guys, go to the next page. Watch what we're going to do. The sun, I'm going to estimate, because remember, it's 865,000 miles. I want somebody to tell me why I chose 840,000. Why do you think I chose 840,000 for our estimate?
Wait, 25,000 away. 22.
And it has something to do with making multiplying fractions really easy.
Oh yeah.
Wait, hold on. Raise your hand. Kelsey, what do you think? You have an idea?
Maybe. I don't really know.
Wait, I know. Can I?
Okay, Jesse, what do you think, buddy?
It's easier to divide it by 7.
Yes.
It fits.
Everybody look at it. We can do 840,000 divided by 7. Everybody look at this. Everybody write down 840,000 divided by 7. Everybody say it. 7 goes into 8.
One time left, one left over.
And 7 goes into 14.
2.
Two.
Therefore, 120,000 times 22. Well, all we have to do, now is 120,000 times 22. Now watch this. Forget about all those zeros.
Two zeros.
Why don't we just do 12
Two
times 22? Who can tell me what is 12 times 20? Just think 12 times 2, tack on a 0. Go ahead, guys.
240. 240.
And 12 times 2.
Roll times 2.
24.
24.
All you have to do now is tack on how many zeros?
3.
Nope.
3.
3.
4.
1, 2,
Four.
3, 4. Now,
4.
everybody write that down. Everybody write that down.
We did it.
And
right?
then we're going to say the answer together. The approximate circumference of the sun on 3. 1, 2, 3, say it.
264 million.
No,
200,000.
2 million. 640,000 miles. So the sun, guys, is 2,640,000 miles. Now, something that I'm going to be doing with the older kids in the next class is we're going to be looking at the sun, and then we're going to be looking at the earth. And when the earth makes its orbit around the sun,
how long that
we're
the
going to
diameter of the orbit.
Because we know that the distance from the
Oh,
sun to earth,
93 million miles.
And
very nice. And if you take 93 million and double it, you get the diameter of that circle, which is 186 million miles. And if you multiply that by pi, you know how far you travel every year. So you are on a supersonic spaceship. And that supersonic spaceship travels at unbelievable speeds. And if I were to say that I wanted to travel around the sun, I know that it would be approximately
I've traveled around the sun over
600 million miles every year. You all travel 600 million miles every year, and you don't even know it. So the next
now we do.
the next time that you guys look up at the sun and look at the sunset, you can think about that incredible trip that you take every year around the sun. And I hope you enjoy that trip. Don't get too close to the sun. That's my only caution to you, because it can be a little hot. And now,
A little.
but it's not hot for certain
That's like
molecules.
23 million degrees, though. Something like that.
You know what? I'll wear my sunglasses.
It's
I'll wear my
a
sunglasses.
flaming ball of super hot glass.
You know what I'll do? I'll bring a lot of water with me. I'll drink a lot of
That
water.
is basically this giant fireball.
Oh, I've had worse. I've had worse. So,
Now you have it.
guys, let's have fun traveling.
Why don't you try
around
it?
the sun.
Huh? Why don't you try it?
Well, actually,
Yeah, I bet you
there's
definitely
a
wouldn't catch on
Greek
fire
myth.
and melt.
There's a Greek myth about Icarus, and it was I
Oh,
think
that guy that fell into the sun?
yeah, I think his wings were made of wax.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't think maybe it wasn't Icarus, but all I know is that it was somebody who
I
didn't
remember
use the
something
right
about that.
materials. Materials are very important. All right, guys, got to go to your brothers and sisters. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.